What I want to say to Korea is that this thing doesn't happen overnight. It comes in little steps. It comes because someone says I'm discriminated against. Or when things are commenced, they say your conscience will be respected. You don't suddenly get a whole barrage of cases. You don't suddenly get a whole barrage of policies. This is why what is very important is that the church understands what's happened in the United Kingdom, understands that within a very short time, the books that you're asked to promote in your schools is And Tango Makes Three, 2 male penguins and a baby penguin. This becomes something that you teach these things you teach your 4-year-olds. These are 2 male penguins. You teach your 4-year-olds that the king can marry a king. But this happens after many years. So you end up having king and king, and you end up having a situation in your schools whereby the king and the king, what a wonderful prince, what a wonderful prince. They're getting married, the queen is happy, everyone lived happily ever after, and the prince, they kiss. This is something that goes into your primary schools. But you see, the point is that at the beginning, no one realises that the impact will be these books on your children. This is what I want to say to the church. You must realise that this is what happens. It was only in 1988 that we had a law which said that you cannot promote this to children. But within 30 years, we now have the full-scale promotion of this lifestyle to our children. So it's really important that the church understands that giving permission for this leads to the indoctrination of our children. And I think in South Korea and North Korea, you know what indoctrination is. You know what it is to be told how to think, and that you cannot think differently, and if you think differently, you will be punished. Well, in our country, we're being told this is how you think. You have to accept homosexuality, sex outside of marriage generally, and homosexuality, even pornography, as a norm. You have transgenderism. This is normal. A person can change their sex. If you don't, you discriminate, you hate, you're bigoted, you're not fit for a professional office. This is what happens. So you become not free, or you become silent. And I think that in South Korea and in North Korea, you know what it is to be living in fear, to not be able to speak. Well, we have a new cultural Marxism. We have a new ideology that says unless you agree, you can't be a teacher. Unless you agree, you can't be a social worker. You can be a Christian, but you can't say this. Well, this is where the might of the South Korean churches must say, to be a Christian means that we say sexual expression is only for marriage between one man and one woman. We're going to keep our children safe. We're going to keep our children pure. We're going to keep our churches places of virtue and places of honour and places of goodness. I say this starts with the church being pure. I think this is very important. I think the part of the reason why our church has not spoken is that the statistics show that there is a lot of pornography in society, but also in the church. If the church is full of pornography, secret, and people that are guilty and not confessed, then how are we going to speak about this? We can't. If we have secret sin, if there is secret sexual sin in the church, then we can't speak about homosexuality because we're guilty. And I think that's what's happened. That's what the stats suggest. There's so much unconfessed sin in the church that we can't find our voice because we're so confused and paralysed because of our own sin.